Zucchini Apple Muffins. Delicious, real low carb. I can't say they keto because they have cornstarch in them, but zucchini apple muffins made with almond flour. Delicious, delicious. And we are about to make them, so y'all stay tuned. Good morning. I'm Rose from Grandma Rose's Open Pantry, and this morning we are going to do keto bread, and I'm going to try to make it as low carb as I can. I'm using almond flour instead of regular flour or gluten-free flour. I'm using sweetener. You can use monk fruit, swerve, allulose, erythritol, whatever sweetener you want. But I use stevia. I like to use stevia when I bake. So this is 2/3 cup of my stevia. Now, if you don't want it quite as sweet, you can cut that back to 1/2 cup. That's just according to your taste. Okay. And to this, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of butter, melted butter. Get a little spatula so I can get all the butter out. You'd be amazed at what is left in a cup if you don't take a spatula and get it all out. Okay, now we're going to beat this together. All right. To this, I'm going to add, this is going to be zucchini apple bread because I'm putting an apple in mine. You can put pineapple, you can put pear, you can put apple, whatever you would like, but I wanted apple in mine this morning because I'm going to be using cinnamon and allspice, and so it's picking up some of that fall flavor, and so I wanted to use an apple in mine. 3 large eggs. Now these are store-bought eggs. If they were yard eggs, I'd be cracking them in a separate bowl. But they're store-bought eggs. Okay. I'm gonna beat this together. Just till my eggs are incorporated. You don't have to beat this much. You can even do it with a spoon if you want to. But I just like to use my little mixer. Okay, now to this we are going to add our almond flour. This is 2.5 cups of almond flour. All right. Now, you can make this in a like 9x13. You can make it in a loaf pan. Today, I'm making muffins, zucchini muffins. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add all my other ingredients. It calls for cinnamon, but Roy and I like cloves, allspice, and cinnamon. So this is my little mixture that I make up. It's like 1/3 the allspice is cinnamon, and then 1/2 the cloves as the allspice. So I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons because we really like ours to have that fall flavor, those spices in it. All right, now to this, the reason I say I'm making it as low carb as I can, I'm putting like a tablespoon of cornstarch in here to stabilize it, to stabilize the batter. Now, you can use xanthan gum. I'm not fond of xanthan gum, so I don't use it very often. So I use cornstarch instead of the xanthan gum. So that was 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to put, y'all look at this. Y'all see my little measuring cups? I found them at the Dollar Tree. It's a measuring cup on one end and measuring spoon on the other end. And I love them. I just think they're so cool. It's 1 cup, half cup, third of a cup, and a fourth of a cup. And on each end is that same measuring spoon. So I just love it. All right, 4th teaspoon of salt and baking powder. Okay, hold on. That was not cornstarch, y'all, that I put in there. It was baking powder. And I put 1 tablespoon, and I'm looking at my recipe. And that's what it calls for. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm going to put the 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. All right, and I'm going to beat this up together really well. So that was 2.5 cups of almond flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, a 4th teaspoon of 4th teaspoon of salt. Okay. And this is going to be a stiff batter. You can use oil instead of butter if you prefer. All right, now to this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And y'all see my heaping teaspoon. Y'all know I love it. So I'm going to do 2 heaping teaspoons of vanilla. 1, 2. Okay. And this is truly a heaping teaspoon. It's about 1.5 teaspoons. I measured it. All right, now to this, I'm going to add my apple. This is 1, I think it's a Fuji apple. All right. We're going to beat this up. Now, this zucchini and the apple is going to make it a little bit more moist. I'm fixing to show you what I'm going to do with this zucchini. I'm going to take a paper towel or cheesecloth, and I'm going to squeeze all that, as much of the juice out of the zucchini as I can. Always shred your zucchini before you start any of this. That way, it'll have time to sit there a little while, and some of your juices can come out. All right, let me move this over here. Now, I just got a paper towel. You can use cheesecloth if you want to, but cheesecloth is so expensive. So I've got some over here, but I save it for my pickling. I try not to use it for things like this. There's not much. This was a real small zucchini, so it doesn't have much juice in it at all, and that's a good thing. Okay, we'll try again, see if any juice comes out. If you use a big zucchini, no, this one doesn't have much liquid in it. There's not even any in the bottom of the bowl. I mean, none. So, well, that was a good thing. I don't have to, there wasn't any moisture in it. All right, now I'm going to beat my zucchini in. This is a little thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stir it in. And I've got a cup of pecans. You can put pecans, you can put walnuts, you can even put chocolate chips in this if you want to. But I'm just going to stir this in, because it's easier than trying to use my mixer for this one. Okay. This zucchini and apple is going to make it really moist. I'm going to taste my batter. Just to make sure I got it sweet enough. But the apple is going to give it a little sweetness too. And I'm not scared of eggs. Mmm. Mmm. You can taste those spices. Oh, they're good. Okay. I got my little muffin tins with cupcake wrappers in them. And I've already got them sprayed really well. If you use a loaf pan, put parchment paper or aluminum foil or something in it, but spray it really, really well. And I've already sprayed mine. Okay. Let's see if we can get these in the oven. Looks like it may make more than 12. We'll see. Okay. My thing is stuck for some reason. Oh well. I'll just do it like this. Okay. I think we're going to have more than one pan, y'all. But that's good because Promise is coming today and she'll like these. I have my oven set on 325 degrees. And we're going to bake them probably 25 minutes or so. I'll check them with a toothpick. And when it comes out clean, then I'll know that it's ready. Yep, I'm going to have more than, but not much more. I'm making these really big because they're not going to rise that much. Even though I put a tablespoon of baking powder in them, they're still not going to rise. They don't rise like your wheat ones do. You know what? I don't want to get out another. So I'm going to make these really big because I just don't want to, I don't have enough to get out a whole nother pan. It's going to take them a little bit longer to cook because I'm filling them so full. Okay. Man, these look good. Well, they are good. Okay. Now, if you don't want yours this full, just make them in 2 pans. Okay. All right. This is our zucchini apple muffins. I'm going to put them in the oven, 325. See y'all back in about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, our timer has gone off. I cooked them 20 minutes. They weren't quite done. So I cooked them 10 more minutes, so 30 minutes in all. And when you put your toothpick in, they come out clean. Okay? Now, the way I'm going to do mine, you can put a little glaze over these if you want to. But the way I'm going to do mine is I'm going to put butter on mine. Because they are going to be so good. Okay. I'm going to taste the one for you. I like to put the butter on them when they're hot so that butter can absorb in. Okay. Get this small one, or one of the smallest ones. And when you spray your wrapper, woo, they're hot. Real hot. But when you spray your wrapper, see, it just comes right off. But I'm not going to take it off. But I just want you to see, they just come right off. They are really, really hot. but I'm going to try to taste the one for you. Let me get a fork because it's too hot to bite. Mmm, y'all. Mmm, see the texture? Mmm. Now, the longer they sit, the more moist they're going to get because the apple and the zucchini is going to make them more moist. Oh, my. Y'all, that is so good. Now, the texture is different because I used almond flour. The texture is not like it would be if you use well, like wheat flour or even gluten-free flour. But this is as low carb as I can get it, so I use my almond flour. It's a kind of a texture you have to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's good. But now, this recipe, you can use regular flour, all-purpose flour. You can use regular sugar. All the other ingredients will be the same, except uh, you would only use like 1.5 or 2 tablespoons of your baking powder. You would not use a whole tablespoon, but you have to use, when you're using this much almond flour, you have to put that much baking powder in it for it to rise any at all. So this is good, y'all. It's got little chunks of apple in it. Mm. With a cup of coffee. Mm. I know what I'm going to have for breakfast in the morning. Cup of black coffee and one of these muffins. Healthy. I can't say it's keto because I put the tablespoon of cornstarch in it. But it is low carb. So, love y'all. Thank you for joining me this morning. Subscribe to my channel, share. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, y'all, and I'm getting so many comments. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. Put deliciousness back in healthy food. This is delicious. This is healthy. Love y'all. See you next time.